We're going to start talking about an Analytics and Data Summit 2020 preview. Thanks everybody for joining us. I'm your host for today's call on must-see 2020 Analytics and Data Summit sessions to attend. That's going to immediately follow after this brief introduction. So then we're going to have a brief Q&A. My name is Dan Vlamis. I've been a board member since 2008, and I'm Conference Director for Analytics and Data Summit 2020. We're going to depart a bit from our regular TechCast today and have a little more fun while we share more information about our upcoming Analytics and Data Summit conference. I'm pleased to say we have the Analytics Bunch joining us today. I'll get into that in just a moment. Just so you know, this is one in a series of TechCasts that have been taking place since really about June 2019. So you can see those on here. Just some highlights of things coming up. You can see we've been doing it since June. You can go on the website and play the video, look at the slides. There's a whole list of them that went on all throughout 2019. But coming up, we have on January 23rd, David Harity talking about customer journey from vision to delivery. If you click on that, you can get an abstract on that. And then we're joined by actually one of our panelists today. Philippe Yeon is talking on February 6th about what's new with OAC making the most of ADW features and applications. You can sign up for those future webcasts and replay any of that, those from our webpage at www.analyticsanddataSummit.com/techcasts. I'll show you what that looks like. This is our page on here, and on there you can see all the upcoming TechCasts. Indeed, talks about it, and you can submit your own abstract. We welcome anybody that has any expertise, any tips and tricks. You're encouraged to submit your abstract proposals. You can do that at the website. Click on there, and the committee will review them and work with you to slot you into future webcasts. Today's presentation is being recorded, and it'll be available on this same TechCast page. Here's the list of them, and we will have soon this in the list of things that you can replay with this video on here. We'll also post a PDF of the presentation, and you can see them also on YouTube with the hashtag AND_TechCasts. More about that in a little bit. We're also going to share some tips during the panel discussion. We'll have a slide at the very end with those tips. Also on here, what we're talking about, especially today during all of our TechCasts, we mention our upcoming conference, Analytics and Data Summit, taking place February 25 through 27, 2020 at the Oracle Santa Clara campus. You'll find more information about that. All of the TechCasts take about 30 minutes, including time at the end for Q&A. So submit anything in the Q&A window if you want to talk to one of our panelists and that be attracted by our panel. And so I'll share a bit on the Analytics and Data Summit, then ask each of the panelists for his or her must-see sessions. We're limiting everybody to 3 for the conference, and ask them why and what they're going to be attending at the conference. With that, let me go ahead and introduce the panel. In here, I'm joined by Charlie Berger. He's the product manager for machine learning with Oracle, and also a co-founder of the BWA user community. We also have then Roger Cressy as a director for Cubics, Carol Palmer, a product manager for Oracle Spatial and Graph, Philippe Yeon, product management for Oracle Analytics, and of course I'm Dan Vlamis of Vlamis Software Solutions. So with that, let me just kind of jump into the content here and ask Charlie. I'm going to throw the ball your way. What are you most interested in hearing from Analytics and Data Summit? And I'm going to try and, well, let me first show you a little bit around the website before I throw it to Charlie. Right. If you look at our website in here, Analytics and Data Summit, you can see stuff about the conference. You can join our community, register. Of course, that's important. We'll have a special offer for you as well for those that stay through the entire webcast. And you can find out more about this, and then we can look at the summit schedule and more about our keynotes and more on here. But Charlie, rather than me boring everybody with my stuff, I want to hear why are you interested in the conference?
Well, I'm interested in the conference for a number of different reasons. I mean, I think this is the best conference of any kind that I've gone to, including maybe even Oracle World, you know, except that we don't have Elton John or whatever. But it's really, I'm just honored to be hanging around with so many smart people who know how to use the Oracle technology, know how to use the Oracle products and all. But for this upcoming, and there's hands-on labs, and there's, you know, expert talks, and there's 3 days of 6 tracks of stuff. It's just packed with great content for a very, very fair price. We barely just cover cost there. But the keynote that the talk that I put as my #1 that I'm really kind of excited to go see is we've been able to secure Bill Schlau, who's the CIO from the San Francisco Giants. Okay, so I'm a Boston Red Sox kind of fan, but here we have you know, another baseball team, Major League Baseball team, and he's going to talk about you know, small ball analytics out in the field, which is always interesting, and then sort of big ball analytics for, you know, people who buy seasons tickets and merchandising and all of that kind of stuff. So understanding the data and the IT and the analytics that undergird the San Francisco Giants, and he's a great speaker. We've seen him. That's what I'm really excited about. I think that's a really good one. Can I go give another second one here, Dan?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
All right. Well, you know, like in this analytics bunch, I don't want to be accused of, you know, Marsha. It's all about machine learning. But I do want to. The one that I like, Dan, if you can click on it, is the changing role of the DBA. It's actually something that I am, you know, honored to be doing with Jenny Sy-Smith, who's the VP of Product Management for the database. And in the database, especially the autonomous database, they automate a lot of things, right? Now if you're a data professional and you were, you know, caring and feeding for the database, well, maybe some of that's been more and more automated for you, and there's less you have to do. So what do you do? How do you evolve? How do you stay relevant with all your extensive data skills, your Oracle data skills? Well, we contend that you can evolve your way into becoming an Oracle data scientist. And in this talk, Jenny and I go on to talk about, hey, you're probably doing a lot of that work already, right? You're probably doing, you know, selecting the data, assembling the data, doing data transformations, and kind of like, you know, this is one little section where the magic happens, you know, and kind of like Penn and Teller expose magic tricks in Vegas. We're going to kind of expose the magic tricks of machine learning there and show you how you can operationalize your models immediately. And we claim that if, you know, you do your homework and you stay with it, in 6 weeks, you too will be an Oracle data scientist. So that's my #2 one. #3, again, you know, machine learning for me. So we're doing some hands-on labs. I am actually doing 2 hands-on labs. One is a hands-on lab on what we just talked about, the Oracle machine learning notebooks. That's, I forget what day that it's on. I think it's probably on day 1. There it is, right there with Brendan Tierney, who's absolutely an excellent talent. Brendan has written several books on machine learning, including Oracle machine learning, and he's coming over from Ireland, and he's a great resource. So he and I will be tag teaming along with some other people to do hands-on labs. So the students will come in with their own laptops. You got to bring your own laptop, but you come in, you just plug it in the wall or plug it into the Wi-Fi, and we'll get you set up with an autonomous database. And in the course of 2 hours, we will get you running a bunch of machine learning notebooks. And Dan, I'm gonna squeeze in a 4th one. Okay, one more.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. Just one more because I'm going so fast here. So the receptions. We have at least 2 receptions. I think we might even have one on the last day for the stragglers who are still around. But the receptions are, I think, on Tuesday night, right after Bill's keynote, and then on Wednesday. And the receptions are just great because it's, you know, one, it's open bar, and we have great food, and Carrie Dayton, you know, just organizes that so well. But you get to network with people, the people that, you know, I run into some of the guys on this call right now that I only see once or twice a year, and meet with customers who are using the product, and you know, the networking face-to-face is really powerful. So those are my top 3.5 picks.
Yeah, we generally have the receptions over, we list them in the first column under auditorium in general. And I'm kind of trying to show some of the features of this website so you can, everybody can search themselves.
Dan, you can show how you can just add, if you like something, you can just add it, if you can show that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Well, let's see. Well, I'll add you. Your comprehensive machine learning here.
That's actually Mark. That's Peter. That's Wes Pritchard's talk, I think.
Oh, is it? Okay. All right. Yeah, so it is.
It's a good one. You can add that. That's fine.
You can see what those are. So that's where you add them to your own private list of stuff that you want to look at. Here's your machine learning.
And if we do get oversubscribes for the hands-on lab, things like that, Dan, we do kind of go by people who registered in advance if we run out of space for students.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. When you come into this, you get the simple interface in here, which is just a list. If you want to see it, this grid view is actually kind of handy once you get used to it, because then you can see it lined up by room. And it's a good way to get a thumbnail of what the conference. You can't see as much of the titles in this view because they have to compress it down. But it's a good way to see what's going on. If stuff doesn't fit in this, you can scroll across to see more columns. But this is a very handy way of looking at that. And the big thing with the simple search is there is the ability to click on filter, or this search capability is very handy. You'll see me use this throughout as we go through this. But rather than me taking time on this, I want to make sure we get to everybody in the panel. Roger, give us your kind of picks on this. What would you be interested in?
Great. Yeah, thanks. I was wondering if Uncle Charlie was going to leave any room for the rest of us.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Gee.
Yeah. No, seriously, this event is probably one of the best places to come and collaborate and meet people, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm one of the newer members. Yeah, you can tell I'm not as old as some of the rest on this call. I'm going to get some abuse back later, I'm sure. So my picks are first of all, the session called Follow Me in Oracle OAC DV with data from Marvel and DC. And it's done by Gary Adeshak. First of all, the fact that it's Marvel and DC, that immediately attracted my attention. I'm a simple mind and I enjoy those things. But I was at one of Gary's earliest presentations a number of years back, and I've been back ever since. He's got a great way of communicating, good information that he provides, and good humor while he does it. So that's on Tuesday the 25th. Obviously, you've got it up there. The next one is actually one of my fellow panelists today, Oracle Analytics OAC, Latest Features and Roadmap by Philippe Yeon. And really, Philippe has fast become one of my favorite presenters, and that's partly because he has the advantage of knowing the future to some extent in respect of the things that I love from a technology standpoint. But partly because it's like drinking from a fire hose. His sessions are always jam-packed with good information. And while I'm on that, his sessions are usually jam-packed with people too. So if you're going to that session, I would plan to get there early. Don't arrive 5 minutes after, because you'll be standing. In
that one, you know, Philippe's going to talk a little bit, so he'll have a chance to respond. But Philippe, we need you to put some more information about this. We know it's going to be the latest features, but we'll give you a dig right now for giving us a better abstract of what you're going to talk about.
I knew you would say this, Dan. I knew you would say this. Yes, and there are quite a few features for that session, and thank you very much for that shout out. And then yes, I will update the.
For the nice dig.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Roger. I couldn't resist giving Philippe a hard time. Go ahead, Roger. What else?
Thanks. Okay, and the last one, I've actually seen versions of it before. I'm sure it's been enhanced by now, but it's called Picking a Good Wine, and it's by actually some people who I think are fine wines in the land of BI. And that's, again, Uncle Charlie Berger. I call him Uncle Charlie just to get a rise. Philippe Yeon, Brendan Tierney, Francesco Philippe, and that's on Wednesday afternoon at 2:20. You can tell a lot about what people are really interested in, and you can tell this bunch are passionate about wine, let alone analytics. Yeah, those are my main picks. Lastly, I'm sneaking in my own session on integrating NetSuite.
Hey, Roger?
Yeah?
Hey, Roger, now, while we have a guy from Italy, Francesco, Philippe from France, and I'm going to draw upon California wines, and I don't know what Brendan's going to be drinking because he's from Ireland. This whole analysis to find a good wine for cheap could be resolved if you maybe gave us some money and we could just buy a good bottle of wine for expensive. How about that, huh?
Yeah, well, now there's a thought. It depends what I get in return. As long as I can share, I guess that's okay.
All right. We'll do some exchanging.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, you'd have to have some, you know, some New Zealand and some South African in there somewhere as well. Anyway, yeah, so the last one was really come along and see me chat about integrating NetSuite and Essbase Cloud for real. And it's going to be informative, and hopefully I'll take a subject that can be a little dull and make it a little bit entertaining. That's me, Dan. Thank you.
Okay. Well, that sounds fun. Carol, why don't you give us? I'm guessing some of yours are going to have to do with spatial and graph. Let me go ahead and ask you. And
Is that Carol Brady?
Yeah. It's probably a good thing.
Yeah, right. Carol Palmer. And one of the features, before I turn it over entirely, is you can filter by type here. And you can see I picked the spatial and graph type of session. And now it filters to those. And you can see the ones in yellow are actually primarily spatial and graph. We've also cross-listed some of these that are spatial and graph related, but are primarily in a different track. So Carol, go ahead and tell us about your stuff.
Okay. Well, first, I just want to say that the reason I really like going to this conference is because I really get to hear from customers and partners about how they're using our technologies, especially their use cases, and that's what I'm going to focus on right now, my highlights, the first two. The first pick I have is Category 5 Analytics, how Upfront Media maps hurricane risk. And what's great here is you can hear directly from their VP of Application Development and Vlamis Consulting. Just to give you a little background, so I think it helps before you go to these sessions. Outdoor Media is one of the largest media companies in North America. I'm sure you've seen their billboards and transit advertising. They have thousands of billboards, and these billboards are at risk of being damaged due to hurricane winds. So this session is about how they calculate which billboards are most vulnerable to being damaged. And I picked this session because not only are they using Spatial Studio, which was released last July, and by the way, Spatial and Graph and Machine Learning, they're now all free with all editions of Oracle Database as of December of last year. So that's important for those of you who haven't tried these products. So it has Spatial Studio and makes it easy to do spatial analytics, along with Oracle Analytics Cloud and Autonomous Data Warehouse. So it's a great use case for combining the three technologies and giving Upfront Media the information they need to make their decisions about these billboards. So that's my number one. Okay. Number two, and by the way, for number two, you don't even have to leave the room. You can go to this first Spatial Studio session and stay in the same room, make it really easy, and attend the second session. And that's using graphs to analyze customer networks and detect fraud at PaySafe. And you're going to hear from the engineers in their session directly. So PaySafe is a multinational online payments company that provides secure payment solutions to businesses of all kinds. They process billions of payment dollars a year. In their business, they have to be on the lookout for money launderers, right? People who commit fraud or try to commit fraud. And they all need to do that in real time. So they have to analyze the customers during their account creation process and during the payments process. And so they analyze the payment workflows, they can identify suspicious payment patterns and take action. So this is going to be really great sessions, really interesting. You're going to find out how they implemented the property graph technologies of Oracle Spatial Graph and Oracle Database. And the whole, what they can do is just perform those fast graph queries that identify the legal patterns and fraudulent accounts. So that's kind of a sinister thing, but very interesting to see. The third one, I won't say last, but I'll say number three. This is by a colleague of mine. It's Getting Started with Graph Analytics. It's a quick half session, and the reason I like it is because you'll get to go through a use case of how to build an application that uses graph analytics. So it goes through everything, how to model, load, query a graph using property graph query language or PGQL, analyze it using our 50 pre-built algorithms, and visualize. So, you're going to quickly get in half an hour how to go about getting started. So I think it's really important. Then we have two hands-on labs. Can I sneak these in? Okay. Hands-on labs. I'm talking pretty quickly, I think. Okay, two hands-on labs. The first is Visualize and Analyze Your Spatial Data with Oracle Spatial Studio. Again, by two colleagues of mine, Albert and David. That's going to be on Thursday at 10:55. You're going to learn a lot about Spatial Studio, and if you really haven't played around with Spatial, you're going to get a lot of knowledge and find out just how easy it is to do spatial analytics right now. Second one is graph from scratch.
Do you have to bring your PC to that? How do you do this?
Yes, you do. You have to
bring. Okay, hold on a sec. I'm going to add that to mine. Okay, go ahead.
Sorry, it should be on there. And the second one is Property Graph from Scratch, Data Sources to Graphs. And this is actually from Gianni Cerisa, who is an ACE director from Datalysis. And I think it's going to be really great to hear from him directly on how to create property graphs and do all the detecting complex relationships and navigating and all that stuff from a person who is outside of Oracle. So those are my picks.
I agree. I saw him in the UK. He's great.
Oh, is he? Good. Oh, good to know. Okay, I've only spoken to him, but yes, I'm excited to hear him. That's it.
All right, then we have one more panel member, Philippe, but before I show you, in case, we're cherry picking some of these, but in case for people that are looking on, the attendees, each one of these, it's a jam-packed schedule of 3 days. Here is Tuesday, then I can click on Wednesday and go to Wednesday's schedule. You can see there's all sorts of sessions. They're generally 1 hour sessions, 50-minute, 45-minute. And then we do have some half sessions, and you see the receptions. And then here's down is Thursday's sessions in here. And with the hands-on labs, generally one.
Thursday. I just want to make a plug for the Thursday sessions. Some people think, oh, the Thursday sessions aren't as important. They're not that great. They're, in general, when people attend a conference, but these really, it's not the case here. Every day is just as good as the first day. So if you can stick around, you're going to learn a lot, even on the third day.
Well, and I'll tell you, as a conference committee, when we were slotting these, we purposefully did that. We did not take the temptation to say, oh, well, we'll take the less popular sessions and put them on Thursday. No, we spread them out so that people would have a reason to stay for the entire conference rather than ducking out early. Good point. Thanks for raising that.
Absolutely. The Oracle Data Miner drag and drop kind of GUI is on Thursday afternoon right after lunch, so stick around, please. Hey, Dan, one thing I don't think we mentioned just yet, but a lot of customers from the past ones have said this. Like, hey, I didn't realize you had 6 parallel tracks going on here. I can't possibly see everything I want to see. We should have sent more people from our company. So you might want to think about that. Yeah.
Those are the 6 parallel. That's why I show the grid view in here, so you can see that. All right, Philippe, you've been waiting patiently. Tell us about what you would be interested in. Thanks for dealing with us.
Yes. Can you hear me fine?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
So first of all, thanks for having me in this panel. And couldn't agree more with what has been said so far. One of the reasons I love this conference from my side is especially because all of these sessions are super interesting. And this is really product focused. There's almost no marketing into this. All of this grid that you were showing is only product focused sessions. And as far as I'm concerned, I would like it to be another day to just get more of this. Now, this is all analytics focused. So that's another, particular flavor that I love about the conference. And as you mentioned, Carol, we hear about great partners and customer stories here. Now, another value that I see that makes me love this conference is it's transversal to Oracle. So you will walk in the hallway there and see people from the database, from OML, from spatial, from Oracle Analytics, from Apex. It's all of us in the same place, and that's really something specific about this conference that brings a ton of value as far as I'm concerned. And we see customer stories showing this big picture, but we also see, so here's my first session, some presentations that do have a comprehensive picture of all this Oracle technology. And there's one by Wes Pritchard that happens on Tuesday morning that talks about the machine learning platform picture. And I believe that Wes is going to present a lot about, not just about one solution at Oracle for machine learning, but a bigger picture about all of the solutions that we have within Oracle for machine learning, how they can interact together and how they can be integrated, and also what's behind this, all the data preparation, all the data storage, and everything that is necessary. I think this is really interesting because all of a sudden becomes really meaningful to see all these things that, you may hear about Oracle machine learning, you may hear about data science, OCI, Oracle Analytics, machine learning, and all this, and you may wonder, how do they just connect and interact together? And that's a session that I'm expecting will tell a lot about this. That's one pick. Another pick from my side is, wait a
minute, before you go on, let me show something down here. You can see that this is cross-listed with so many other tracks on here, and these are the keywords that are associated with some metadata on each one of these. So it's machine learning and data warehousing and spatial and graph. And you can see that this one is kind of cross. We didn't know what track to put it in.
Yeah,
although it's machine learning is in the title, but it has to do with so many other technologies. So go ahead. I just saw that one to point it out.
totally, and that's why it makes all sense. I mean, it's I'm curious. I'm really interested in joining the session. My other pick is my other picks, if I can say, is exactly to your point, Carol, is seeing examples of customers integrating these different technologies and extracting functional value out of it. So you mentioned about Outfront, and you mentioned also about PaySafe, which I'm amazed about what they've done, and I'm looking forward to looking at this. But so to pick other sessions, there are quite a few sessions showing how OAC, Oracle Analytics, and ADW, Autonomous Data Warehouse, work well together. There is one about sound exchange. I think it's Oli Ray, and I think it's on Wednesday. There is one as well about from Edelweiss Cameraman, and she's going to explain how OAC and EDWC work well together and real life use cases where value was made up out of this. So this is something that we all, as PMs, but not only, we're very interested in looking at. And finally, my last pick is something that is somewhat specific to OAC. I'm an OAC PM. So there is a presentation from Gianni, you mentioned Gianni earlier on how easy it is for an OAC, Oracle Analytics user, to use ML. So he has a presentation, I think, I don't know which date it is, that's on Thursday. That's why, you need to stay up to the Thursday presentation. And I believe he's going to explain how easy ML is when you're using OAC and how friendly it can be to most of the people in your organization, analysts, but not only data scientists. So that's something that really excites us, and I'm looking forward to that presentation. That's it. These are my picks then, and thanks.
Okay. Well, super. So, we're going to record this and make this available for everybody because I know not everybody was able to make it in here. But, let me just emphasize that there is a big list of sessions. We can't talk about all of them. In this limited time, but you can see them on the grid. We are getting additional metadata added over time on things like keywords for the individual products that are used in each, but you're going to find it's a huge amount of content that we're able to deliver in the conference. Let me add some helpful links on here. One is, if you want to register for the conference, I should definitely show you this. This is our homepage at analyticsanddatasummit.org, and all you do is click on register for the conference and click on here. And by the way, I do have a discount code that I can share with you all. If you want to save a little bit of money, put in a promotional code of ANDS20-TechCast, and you click on apply, and the price goes down by 75 bucks. So that's thanks for attending the webcast, and you can sign up, and then you put in your information, and you'll have access to that same sched calendar and be able to add things to your own session for that. And I'm going to have that in the slides on here in the end, so you don't have to write that down. You'll have it on the slide.
Hey Dan, can I just interject? Yeah. Hey, can I just interject for any Oracle salespeople or sales consultants or whatever that may be on the call? The organizers have offered some specials to encourage, to allow sales reps to come and join with their customers, maybe take them out for dinner or whatever. So I guess they can just contact me for that if they haven't already seen that information. But there are some pretty nice specials there that's being organized for facilitating that.
Thank you, Charlie. We do want people to, the Oracle people, to encourage their customers to come. All right, so that's there. Let me show you a couple other things on here. Here is the URL, the registry. Yeah, go ahead, Carol.
I was going to say, just make sure that people who have been before realize that this time it's Santa Clara, just a change in location.
Oh, good point.
Just to highlight that.
Yeah, it is in Santa Clara, not at well, it's down the road from the Oracle headquarters. We have it at the Old Sun campus in Santa Clara. So make sure you fly into the right airport and such. Thank you. You can email here. We also, the Sched app, we didn't have a chance to show it to you, but it also has a mobile app. You can get that from the iPhone App Store or Google Play. It looks like this. You can download the app and run everything from your phone in terms of what you want to attend. It's actually a pretty nice app. You can plan your time wisely if you sign up for the schedule after you register. And one of the things I want to point out, I forgot to point when we were looking at the schedule, email, call, tweet on the schedule in here. If I pick a given session, by the way, there's videos in here that you can play. When you look at the schedule, you can play this. It gives you some tips on how to use this. Here's the mobile schedule tips and some speaker tips. But on each of these, let's say I'm interested in this session, I can tweet about it and tell other people about this session, how you're looking forward to actually attending this session. We need your help in getting the word out. We're approached all the time. We've been doing this like 6 years out on the West Coast, and everybody says, wow, this is a fantastic conference. You just need to tell people about it. We need your help. So help us out. You'll be able to watch the replay for this, and that will be available on our TechCast page in here. So you can replay it on this list down here in the video. We also, by the way, have a YouTube channel. We upload these to the YouTube channel. This is a little more user-friendly way of looking at all these, and it'll be eventually in this list of all the great sessions that we do, and you can play them directly for free out of YouTube, out of here as well. So with that, let me ask the panel, what have I missed? What do we need to especially let people know about? These are the tips that I have, and the PDF of this will be available for all of you to download soon on our TechCast page. What did I miss?
Yeah, I think you've covered everything from my perspective.
Yeah, that was a great job. Yeah, great job, everything.
Good.
Yep.
Well, thanks to the...
Seeing everybody there.
Go ahead. Say again?
I say I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody there, even you.
Well, and you know, it's probably worth pointing out, one of the things that happens with this conference, frankly, it isn't Oracle Open World. You actually run into people and you can, you know, see people in the hallway and have conversations, and that's where a lot of the magic happens in this user community. This is not an Oracle-led event. This is user groups that is doing this, brought to you by the BUA user community, and that's what selects all the sessions, and it's all those networking opportunities that mean so much. So really appreciate the time to do this, present on this, and we look forward to seeing you all at the conference. Go check out our website, analyticsanddatasummit.org. With that, I'm going to close the webcast, and we'll look forward to having people there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
All
then.
right. Bye.
Bye.